Attack!
What if the chickens weren't just trying to escape, but coming back for revenge? And what if the monsters weren't hiding in the closet anymore, but had already come out? I took these three beloved childhood animations and reimagined them as horrifying movie posters. The results were scarier than you expect. First, I bring this duo into the scene. I go ahead and remove the cute roaster. We only need Miss Ginger for this one. I scale her up and place her right where I want her.
Welcome back, Kane.
Now let's get into the spooky part. I grab this section of her head, separate it, and move it up here. I need to connect the lower part to the top. I use the stamp tool to blend them together. Then I fix up any areas that feel unfinished. Now I move on by adding some textures. I changed the blend mode on the first one. Looks way better now. Then I use the stamp tool again to clean up parts that need it. I add another texture and tweak the blend mode to spice things up. And finally I throw in a third texture and lower its opacity. Now it's time for lighting and shadows. I brighten the center and left side of her face. As if light is shining in from the left, some areas get more highlight than others, just to add that extra punch. Then I start building in shadows around different parts of the face to give it more depth and 3D feel.
Look at me and do not look away.
Around her eyes, I try adding some wrinkles and raised details. I darken the lower part of the face too, so the lighting pops even more. I think I'll make her eyes completely white. Not bad at all. A few more light touches on the left. And darker shading on the right. That definitely gives her more impact. But what's a scared chicken without teeth? So yep, I give her some. Bottom row first. Then the top ones. I kinda love how she's turning out. Now I need your help. What should we call this movie? To wrap things up, I bring in the original movie logo and place it right between her teeth. I do a little adjusting and add some shadows around it to help it pop. Last but not least, I drop in a movie label. The Lonely Night Hen. This chicken doesn't play nice anymore. So if you see her roaming the street, you better steer clear. Monsters, but this time we're not the ones running. We've got ourselves a monster hunter now. And not just any hunter, tiny ruthless little warrior. First, I drop in an old wallpaper texture as the background. Vintage, creepy, perfect. Then comes the girl, our main character, the monster slayer. I rotate her head. She's standing tall now, fierce, unshaken. Next, I remove her arms. Yeah, we're switching up the pose. I select part of her dress and cut it out. Adjust the angle, make it more upright. Trim off the extra bits, clean it up. Then I grab another section of the dress, reshape it, place it where I want. Again, clean and sharp. Now onto the left side, same idea.
They're so awesome!
I'm setting her up to look like she's holding something, a pair of scissors in both hands, like a boss. I'm bringing a piece of fabric, shape it just right, and position it. Boom, body pose is on point now. Time for the hands. I grab a pair of tiny hands, clutching scissors, and drop them in. That's it. That's the look. Now let's bring in the monster. A big green monster. You can tell he knows he's in trouble. Now it's time to level it up. I start painting shadows on her dress, adding wrinkles and folds to give it more depth. I brighten her hair a little, glossier, shinier, more striking. Touch up her lips too, bold red, like she means business. A few red smudges on the outfit, just a hint of the chaos she's caused. What color do you think Monster Blood is? Her face is way too clean for Monster Hunter. So yeah, I add a few red touches there too. She's been through stuff. Then I darkened the background. Gotta pull focus straight to her. Next, I lower the overall brightness and use a mask to spotlight the center. Eyes right here, folks. Actually, what if her eyes were red? Creepy, intense, totally fits the vibe. What do you think, guys? Drop a name for this film in the comments. I bring in the original logo, but with a twist in color, and I slap on a cool little label to seal the deal. Monster Hunter. No need to fear the monsters in your city anymore. These little slayers coming for all of them.
Bernard, the unlucky bear everyone used to make fun of, but now he's turned into a kind, terrifying and ruthless monster. First I bring a lush green field into the scene, and then I add a night sky as the background and darken it a little more. I place a tree trunk right here. Then I add a cabin in the distance, lost in the darkness, only lights glowing. I place a wooden barrel here. And now, it's Bernard's turn. I bring him into the scene and place him here, like he's sitting on the barrel. And now I design a campfire next to him. I do this by combining a few images and adjusting the blend modes. But it looks like Bernard is grilling something over the fire. But what? With using warp transform tools, I change his hand pose so it looks like he's holding something. Now I place the sword in his hands. But I don't like the blade, so I replace it with another one. Then I add this penguin here and raise the extra parts. Now you understand what kind of a search thing Bernard is doing. You all remember this penguin, right? I place a mask for Bernard right here near the tree trunk. Now I add shadow touches to remove that flat look and make everything feel more real and live. Before continuing with shadows, I erase the bottom part of the barrel so it looks like it's sitting inside the grass. Then I add more shadow touches across the scene. Now I bring the lizard. I take part of its body and place it inside Bernard's mouth. Then I place this stick here and clean up the extra parts. Like Bernard skewered the lizard and already ate part of it. Now I add some retouches to make everything more intense.
The following grows, they know how to ignite me. Call me CEO, I've been running shit right, see.
I added accents to different parts and even onto the grass. Now it's time to working on the lighting. I darken the edges of the scene. Then add light highlights across different parts of the artwork. I add orange highlights too, so the firelight reflects on the characters and objects, making everything feel warmer and more dramatic. I also add a smoke image here, like it's coming from the fire. Then I add the Bernard logo, and finally I place a label here.
You can watch other designs here and be sure to subscribe.